Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome back to the Srimad Bhagavatam. Glad to see you again back. Yes, Dave. Can you just speak once, Dave, before we
Yes,
start?
now
Okay,
it's
great.
now am I audible?
Yes, you are very much audible. Thank you so much. And all those who have joined on YouTube, just say Hare Krishna so that I know you are joined. Thank you very much for joining. We are going to discuss something very interesting today, so all of you can have your full attention. And before we begin, let us chant the pranam mantras, and then we will start with our discussion of Srimad Bhagavatam. So kindly join your palms and repeat after me the pranam mantras. Let me also share the screen. Uh, Today I just have the prayers for Srimad Bhagavatam. I'll quickly also make the prayers that we regularly chant. Since all of you already know about the prayers, let us chant the pranam mantras and begin the session. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. Since we are starting Srimad Bhagavatam, we will also chant the pranam mantras that we chant before starting the discussion for Srimad Bhagavatam. So, all of you, along with me, chant the pranam mantras that is displayed on the screen, and we will do it simultaneously. You can chant along with me the pranam mantras. Okay? ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. हरे कृष्णा. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः. Hare Krishna. So welcome back all of you. Thank you so much for joining. Each one of you have joined today. We have Rajeshwari Krishnan on YouTube. We also have Rupa Mataji joining us. Thank you so much for joining. We also have Lakshmi Mataji joining us on YouTube. So thank you everyone for joining. So in the previous session, which was on Sunday. So going forward, we are actually going to have the session on every Saturday, early morning 8 to 9. So this is the fixed time for Srimad Bhagavatam. So every Saturday, 8 to 9. Okay, so we can also invite our friends and other relatives who want to join this session so that they also get the benefit of listening to Srimad Bhagavatam. So, very powerful Srimad Bhagavatam. In the previous session, we had discussed brief about the Bhagavad Mahatmya. It is very important and extremely important to know the importance of the scripture that we are actually studying henceforward. Okay, so Srimad Bhagavatam, as we discussed in the previous session, it is the ripened fruit. It is a very ultimate essence of the whole Vedas. So we are going to discuss that subject matter. So that is why this Bhagavad Mahatmya, which is actually described in many Puranas, it is described in the Agni Purana, the Vayu Purana, the Bhavishya Purana. So there is Skanda Purana, which we discussed in the last session, Garuda Purana. It is also mentioned in the Padma Purana. So today we are going to discuss something that is beautifully described in the Padma Purana, the glories of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Extremely important, very beautiful actually. So why we have to study? Because once we know the glory, we know the importance of the Srimad Bhagavatam, then we will have that sense of attachment to it, the sense of more eagerness to understand Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srimad Bhagavatam is not different from Krishna. So we are trying to understand Krishna. We cannot understand him completely, but at least through this process, we will understand Krishna to the extent that we can. It is so massive, so huge, so many things are to discuss. But all this is going to come in a story form, and in that stories, we can understand the essence and practical application that we can do in our own life so that we can better our life and take that one step closer to Krishna and true happiness. We are all looking for happiness. We are all looking for bliss. We are all really seeking that ultimate happiness because we are all tired of exploring all the material things. So many of us, we have tried many of these material things to make ourselves happy, but time and again we have failed. We have been failed by this material energy. So that's why we are looking for an alternative. Each one of us is looking for true happiness. And Srimad Bhagavatam has that true happiness to offer. So why not take it? Right? It is a very beautiful scripture. Everyone appreciates, so many great devotees from across the globe and the universe. They all have this fondness for Srimad Bhagavatam. They listen to Srimad Bhagavatam for their purification. So we are going to discuss that aspect of the Vedas, which is the cream, which is the essence, and that which can be relishable to all of us. Okay, so Padma Purana explains very beautifully that how Srimad Bhagavatam is so important to all of us, especially in Kali Yuga. And like last time, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also explained to us that how in Kali Yuga, the study of the Srimad Bhagavatam is at most important. If we want to develop good association of devotees, if we really want to understand the connection with the Dham, we want to understand anything spiritual, Srimad Bhagavatam is the foundation. So that is why we are trying to understand Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, very important. And Srimad Bhagavatam has all the principles of the Bhagavad Gita. It has everything from the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so it is all encoded. The whole Brahma Sutra is encoded in the Srimad Bhagavatam. The Gayatri Mantra is encoded in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So it is very beautiful, extremely beautiful. Okay, so once upon a time, Sutta Goswami, Sutta Goswami or Sutacharya. Now, who is this Sutta Goswami? Sutta Goswami is the son of Romaharshana. Romaharshana is created by Vedivyasa himself. Romaharshana, out of the ecstasy of narrating the Puranas, Vedivyasa created Romaharshana. That's why he's called Roma. He came out of the course. He's so wonderful, very beautiful. And his son is Sutacharya, Sutta Goswami. Sutta Goswami is also called as Ugrashravas. Ugrashravas means one who listens very attentively. Ugrashravas means one who is very rapt in attention while listening to the Puranas. That's why his name is Ugrashravas. He used to anywhere, anytime. Any discourses are happening, he would go and listen. That is Sutacharya. So beautiful he is. Okay, so very, very great devotee. So that great personality, Sutacharya, Sutta Goswami, who is the son of Romaharshana, has come to Naimisharanya. So Naimisharanya is a very holy place, very close to Lucknow. Naimisharanya is a forest. Why it is called Naimisharanya? Because there is different reasons for that. There is a fruit called Naimisha. So that is why in that forest, lot of these Naimisha fruits are there. It's called Naimisharanya. And another very important aspect is that this holy place, Naimisharanya, where all the sages used to assemble, was headed by Shaunaka Rishi. Now, Shaunaka Rishi is actually the Kulapati. Shaunaka Rishi is called Kulapati because Kulapati is one who has or who can maintain more than 10,000 disciples, who can feed them, who can take care of their shelter, who can give them right knowledge. Such a person is like a university, spiritual university. So Naimisharanya was the spiritual university of that time. More than 10,000 students were under the guidance of Shaunaka Rishi. So that is why he was called as Kulapati. And just imagine, all these Brahmins, all these saints, great students studying in one place. Uh, Amazing it is. What an environment it might be. Huh? So with this, now Sutta Goswami, who has actually heard the Srimad Bhagavatam directly from Parikshit, from Shukadeva Goswami, while he was describing it to Parikshit Maharaj, he was in that assembly, has now come to Naimisharanya. So when he comes to Naimisharanya, Sutta Goswami, this Sutta Goswami was asked by all the sages there, "Oh dear Sutta Goswami, can you please explain? Can you please help us understand that Kali Yuga now is about to begin? It's already begun actually. So in this situation, how do we get rid of all the difficulties of the Kali Yuga? See, we are completely under the jurisdiction of Kali Yuga now. And we will understand going forward in this very session that how Kali is actually captured the whole world. Practically, we are under his grip right now. So that is why these sages, they're asking, can you please tell us how can we remove the ignorance that we have? See, such an important question. Huh? They're asking, how can we remove ignorance? I mean, they're all students of spirituality and they're asking this question about how to take off all that ignorance which is there in them. So this is very much applicable to us also. First about, we all need to have that open-mindedness to learn new things and especially spirituality. That learnability comes when we are curious. We need to be curious about our life, especially spiritual life. You look at the children, small little children, 4 years, 5 years, they are so curious. They're always seeking for answers. They have so many questions. And somehow grow in our life, we forget how to be curious in life. So that is why, if you really want to be able to learn Srimad Bhagavatam, the first thing that we need to be is to become curious. We need to develop this curiosity about ourselves, about our life, who is God, and our connection with God. We need to learn how to be curious. And that is how we will become open minded to learn new things. If we are not open minded, then Bhagavatam will not enter. You know what is the difficulty of Krishna? Sometimes the greatest difficulty for Krishna is the close mindedness or the close heartedness of the devotees. Krishna is ready to offer the greatest happiness to all of us. But what he's looking is our willingness, and we are somehow closed. So, there, this great sages of Naimisharanya, they are very open minded, they are very curious. So, that's why they are asking, please help us remove our ignorance. Just see. So they are all wanting to get rid of their ignorance and they're asking, please help us. How do we get rid of it? Second question they ask is, please narrate the stories of the Lord. And most importantly, not just the stories, you also help us understand the essence of these stories. So many times there are so many Bhagavad Pravaktas, the speakers, they tell the stories, beautiful stories, but they don't dive deeper into the essence of the Srimad Bhagavatam, the real uh, teachings of those stories. Every story has a certain moral to take away. There are some takeaway points for all of us. So that is what we are going to discuss in this study of the Srimad Bhagavatam. We are not just going to understand the stories, but we'll also understand the essence and the practical applicability of that particular pastime in our own life. Okay, so that's why these curious saints of Naimisharanya, they're asking, please help us understand the essence of the stories that you're going to help us, you're going to share with us. And please share with us that beautiful narrations which will make us happy. See, everyone is looking for happiness. Even the great sages, they're also seeking for happiness. And they're already happy, but they want more happiness. So they're asking for that happiness which is ever growing. What are we asking for? Every day, look at our activities. We are constantly seeking happiness, but we are seeking happiness in all temporary things. Okay, this web series or that food or that movie or something else, this clothing, that cosmetic, this makeup, I don't know what not. We are all looking for happiness in all these temporary things and we get frustrated, right? So they are looking for happiness that is ever growing. And not just that, they're also asking us, please tell us that which will offer us viveka. Viveka means that intelligence to discriminate between what is right and what is wrong. So they are seeking for that viveka also. So these are the fundamental questions asked by the sages of Naimisharanya to Sutta Goswami. And Sutta Goswami, being very, very pleased with the questions now, he actually starts explaining that how this Kali Yuga, which is begin from the point when Duryodhana died. See, Duryodhana is Kali himself. And when Duryodhana died, Kali was activated. That's when Kali Yuga actually started. But because Krishna was still on the planet, there was no effect of Kali. Kali could not do much. And the Pandavas were there. Dharmaraja was there. He was ruling the whole world. So Kali could not really penetrate the societies, the Vedic societies. It was very difficult for Kali. And then when Parikshit became the emperor, it was Kali who was now very active and he wanted to spread the adharma in the society. And Parikshit caught Kali. That we will discuss as we go forward. That's the story that's in the first canto, that how Parikshit Maharaj captured Kali. So Sutta Goswami was explaining all these things. Now, to give a little background, the background of how this Bhagavatam actually came, Sutta Goswami also helps us understand that this Parikshit, who is actually the grandson of the Pandavas, who is the son of Abhimanyu, he heard this from Shukacharya. So the connection from the previous session to this session, we all know that in the previous session how Uddhava actually he asked Parikshit to go and conquer Kali. I'm going to speak the Srimad Bhagavatam to all the queens of Krishna here in Vrindavan, but you need to go and conquer Kali in the society. And Parikshit was actually very depressed. Oh, now I'm going to miss this narration from the Uddhava. Huh? So Uddhava had promised, don't worry, in future Shukacharya, the Vyasanandana, the son of Vyasa himself will come and speak to you about the Srimad Bhagavatam. And that is how Parikshit Maharaj now, once he was actually uh, had gone for hunting, and as he was hunting, he became very thirsty. And while looking for water, he goes to one of the ashrama of Shamika Rishi. Now, Shamika Rishi there was in Samadhi. He was meditating, deep in meditation. And that is when this thirsty Parikshit Maharaj comes there and he actually asks for water. He actually wanted to ask, but then Shamika Rishi is there in deep meditation. He could not listen. He didn't listen to the request of Parikshit Maharaj. Now, Parikshit Maharaj actually wanted to test whether this Shamika Rishi is trying to avoid me or is he really in meditation. And that is when, after so many requests and asked, when there was no response, Parikshit Maharaj was little disturbed. So what he did was he took that dead snake and he put it on the neck of Shamika Rishi. and he left that place. Now, please understand, all the great sages, the Brahmins and the Vipras, above the navel, all the devatas reside in a body of a Brahmana. And below the navel, all the Pitra devatas are there. So when he actually put the dead snake around the Shamika Rishi, it was also an offense to the devatas. Some acharyas explain this. So when he left that place, Parikshit Maharaj had that guilt. Oh, I did wrong. This I shouldn't have done. And then, while this was happening, while he had actually put the snake around the neck of Shamika Rishi, the child of Shamika Rishi, Shringi, who was a 7-year-old boy who was playing with his friend, one of his friend had seen this particular instance, and he goes and tells Shringi, "Oh, your father, he is having the neck around the snake around his neck," and that Parikshit is one who actually put that snake. So Shringi, a 7-year-old boy, he became very angry. How could this king do such a thing? He said that I curse that this Parikshit will be dead in next 7 days. After 7 days, he will get his death and he will be bitten by Takshaka. Now, this is very interesting. This 7-year-old boy, he was a small boy. How can this 7-year-old boy curse? This question might come. How can this 7-year-old boy curse a king? Actually, his Upanayana were just been done, and he had chanted Gayatri Mantra for just 3 months. And the power of Gayatri Mantra, just for chanting 3 months, by the way, he was so powerful he could curse Parikshit Maharaj. And he cursed Parikshit Maharaj. And then he started crying. Because small children, out of frustration, he said something and he started crying. And that is when Shamika Rishi gets up. And then, "Oh, why are you crying, my dear son?" And he explains the whole thing. Of course, Shamika Rishi also sees that snake. He didn't mind, oh, some snake, he just kept it aside. But then when he saw his son crying, he went and asked his son, "What is the problem?" And then Shringi explains that actually this is what happened, and I cursed Parikshit Maharaj. Oh, Shamika Rishi was, "How could you do this? You're such a small boy. You shouldn't have done this. This is your mistake. He's a king. And it was my offense, when a king has come, I could not give him hospitality. That's my mistake. Oh, you foolish boy, you have done something wrong." And Shamika Rishi actually goes and tells Parikshit Maharaj, "I'm very sorry, but this is what has happened. You have been cursed to die in next 7 days. Next 7 days, you're going to die by the bite of Takshaka." And actually, Parikshit was thinking that I should actually undergo some atonement for the offense that I have committed against Shamik Rishi. And he thought, this is the best thing now. I have been cursed. Now, there is no other best atonement than dying. But before dying, let me not simply die like animals. Let me go to the Ganga, on the banks of Ganga. And on the banks of Ganga, he went and started doing tapas. And that is when he went there, Shukacharya and all the great sages, they all assemble to the Sukhasthala. This Sukhasthala is where Bhagavatam was spoken, very, very beautiful place. And Shukdev Goswami, who was an Avadhuta, Avadhuta is one who never wears any clothes. He comes to this place, and great sages have already assembled. Narada, Asita, Devala, Jajali, and Parashurama, and then Bhrugumuni. So many great sages. Everyone has assembled. All of them have come. Each one of them, they have come to listen to Srimad Bhagavatam spoken by Shukadeva Goswami. Such a powerful personality. They know that Shukacharya is no ordinary person. He is a direct incarnation of Rudra. So that form of Rudra has come in the form of Shukadev Goswami, and he is now going to speak and narrate. So great sages have assembled to listen to this. So not just great sages, but even devatas have come to this place. And the devatas, they actually come and offer a pot of nectar to Shukadev Goswami, and they're saying, "Oh, Shukadev Goswami, please take this pot of nectar. And you can give this pot of nectar to Parikshit also. He will come to heavenly planets. He will not have any fear of death. But the punya of Bhagavatam, you give it to us. The punya of Bhagavatam, which Parikshit is going to get, that punya you give it to us. Shukadeva Goswami, he laughed at all these devatas and he rejected. We don't want your pot of nectar. This Srimad Bhagavatam is much more than your pot of nectar. This pot of nectar can only take us to heavenly planets for some time. But this Bhagavad Gita can offer us Vaikuntha. So that is the power of Srimad Bhagavatam. And actually, Parikshit, after listening to this nectarian pastimes of Srimad Bhagavatam, he didn't go to heavenly planets. He went to Vaikuntha. So this is the beauty of Srimad Bhagavatam, and it is so important for all of us, right? So that is why, please understand, Srimad Bhagavatam is much more than the pot of nectar. Many a times when Srimad Bhagavatam discussions are happening, there might be some offers that we may get. Hey, what Bhagavatam, Saturday early morning you're listening, let's go for a walk, let's go do something, let's watch something, let's go for a morning, some breakfast somewhere to some restaurant. Many temptations, many other things may come in our way. Sometimes Kalipurush is anyway acting. He doesn't want us to listen to Bhagavatam. And on top of that, sometimes you are really progressing devotee, then Devatas also want to test whether you are really serious about Bhagavatam or not. So Saturday early morning, you will get a notification from them before you get a notification from me. So they will offer you many things. Okay, let's go and have something, right? So a lot of these nectarian things will come as a tempting thing for us to take away from listening Bhagavatam. So we should not get tempted. We should be focused on Bhagavatam. Very important. So with this, now Parikshit, he heard this Srimad Bhagavatam in the month of Bhadrapada Masa. So in this month, there are devotees who have this, of course, Brahma himself initiated the Bhagavata Saptaha, listening to Bhagavatam for 7 days. In this particular Bhadrapada Masa, there are some devotees in South India, in Karnataka, the Madhvas. They also do Proshtapadi Bhagavata. Proshtapadi Bhagavata goes for 15 days. So they little extend it and they do it Proshtapadi. Okay. So that also is another culture of discussing Srimad Bhagavatam. One is Saptaha and another is Proshtapadi Bhagavata, which goes on for 15 days. So now, how this Bhagavatam came into picture? From Lord Vishnu himself, which he spoke in Chaturshloki Bhagavatam to Brahma. Brahma got this, and he in turn, Brahma, he shared this to the Sanat Kumaras. Who are the Sanat Kumaras? The 4 Sanat Kumaras, the mind-born sons of Brahma. Of course, Narada Muni also is a Manasaputra. So these Kumaras, 4 Kumaras also, they are Manasaputras. They received this Srimad Bhagavatam. They in turn tell this to Narada. Narada tells this to Vyasa. So what Vyasadeva gets is the Chaturshloki Bhagavatam from Narada. And then when he gets this, he expands this Chaturshloki Bhagavatam into 18,000 verses that we see today. Okay, so this is how Bhagavatam comes. Now there is another parampara also. Now there is another parampara which actually comes from Brahma to Shesha. So Shesha is Ananta Shesha. So Ananta Shesha gets this, and Ananta Shesha in turn also speaks to Sanat Kumara. This is another parampara. And Sankhyayana, there is another devotee, Sankhyayana. From Sankhyayana, it comes to Parashara Muni. From Parashara to Maitreya. From Maitreya to Vidura. So there is another parampara also explained in Padma Purana about how Srimad Bhagavatam has come about. So and of course, now Suta Goswami, when he is sitting and explaining Srimad Bhagavatam, narrating Srimad Bhagavatam in this University of Naimisharanya, that is where the first printing of Srimad Bhagavatam happened. Okay, so Suta Goswami had only heard. So these students there, they started writing. When he is narrating Suta Goswami, all the students used to note down all the shlokas. And from Naimisharanya, then it went to the Gorakhpur Express and Gorakhpur printing press. And from there, many other versions of Bhagavatam are printed, right? And of course, now we have the Bhakti Vedanta Trust, which actually prints Srimad Bhagavatam in English. Okay, so this is how the appearance of Srimad Bhagavatam came into this world. Appearance of the Bhagavatam. Now, what we are going to discuss from here, this is a very beautiful, not just an allegorical story, but it's a fact, a story of Bhakti Devi that is explained in the Padma Purana, which actually glorifies Srimad Bhagavatam. And this story of Bhagavatam is so very important to all of us. So, this is the story of Bhakti Devi and her two sons, that is Vairagya and Jnana. So, Jnana and Vairagya are the two sons of Bhakti Devi. So, it so happened once Narada Muni was traveling across different Tirtha Kshetras. We all go to different holy places, right? So he was going uh, Badri, from Badri to Haridwar to South India where Rameshwaram is there, to different holy places in West Dwarka, Puri Jagannath. So Narada Muni, Pushkar, many holy places he was visiting, and he was still not very satisfied. So he was not very happy. So Narada Muni, finally, after all this travel across the Bharatavarsha, looking at different holy places and holy rivers, after visiting so many places, he was still dissatisfied and not very happy. He was unhappy because there is something lacking. He saw that people are suffering everywhere. And finally, he comes to Vrindavan. And to his surprise, he sees a not old lady, but he's a very young lady, and she's crying and sobbing. And he looks at her, and then next to her, there are two children who are so old. They're looking old. Now, looking at this lady who was sobbing so bitterly, he goes and asks, actually, oh lady, why are you crying? And moment this young lady, she looks at Narada Muni, she becomes so joyful, so happy, very happy. Why? Because, oh, you are now a sage, my only hope, because great sages can take away all the problems in our life. It is said, right? We also in the Bhagavatam in the previous, that lavamatra sadhu sanga sarva siddhi hoy. Even a moment's association with a great devotee can actually take away all the problems in our life. So this is a fact. And with that, Bhakti Devi, she prays to Narada, please help me. And then Narada starts explaining. I mean, he inquires, who are you? And please tell me more about you. Why are you crying so much? Who are these two old men here? And who are these other ladies who are also serving you here? So then Bhakti Devi, she starts explaining that, oh dear Narada, oh great sage, my name is Bhakti and I was born in Dravida Desha. I was born in Dravida Desha is Tamil Nadu, Kerala. And I grew up in Karnataka. And I became very beautiful, very strong and healthy in Maharashtra. But when I came to Gujaratis, no offense to Gujaratis here. So when she comes to Gujarat, the Gujjara Desha, she became very weak, she became very old. And along with me, my two children, Jnana and Vairagya, they also became very old. And she was tortured there with all the people because Kali was in full effect. Why this was happening? She said, this is all because of Kali. Now, since Kali has begun, I have become very weak and I completely deteriorated along with my children in Gujarat. And because I was tortured so much, I became so weak. I somehow escaped Gujarat and I came to Vrindavan. And when I came to Brajabhumi, and in this Brajabhumi, I became so young. Coming to this Brajabhumi, I was totally young again. But unfortunately, my two children are old. So how can I be happy? As a mother, I am so young and my young children are looking so old. So this is my disparity. This is my problem. Just see the effect of Kali. Now, Narada Muni understands, oh my God, this is exactly what I have seen in all the Tirtha Kshetras. I have seen the Kali Purusha, the effect of Kali everywhere in this world. And looking at all these conditions, even in the Tirthastalas, that is what actually made me unhappy. So Narada Muni explains the symptoms of Kali. Now, this is amazing. Huh? All of you, please, you can see the forecast of the scriptures, the forecast of Narada Muni as to what is Kali Yuga. If you look into this, for everything you will say, yes, 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 this is what is happening in Kali Yuga. And what is that Narada Muni has actually seen? Narada Muni starts explaining. He says, in Kali Yuga, which is already begun now, and he's telling to Bhakti Devi, in Kali Yuga, people will not do tapasya. There is no question of tapasya in Kali Yuga. Hardly, there are few here and there. Some people are doing tapasya. Look at all of us. We do what? Ekadashi. On Ekadashi, we are constantly thinking of what to cook on Dwadashi. That is our tapasya. All tapasya gone. On Ekadashi, our focus is constantly on thinking, oh, early morning, what will I cook? How will I break my fast on Dwadashi? I'll cook this samosa, I'll cook this pizza, pasta, I don't know what all. We're always thinking about Dwadashi on Ekadashi. We want to fast, but we're constantly thinking what to cook, right? Even if not about Dwadashi, on that very same day, some people are, their tapasya is like, oh, I'm not eating any grain food, Prabhu, that is my tapasya. And on that day, they'll be eating fruits and dry fruits and milk and what not, everything they'll be. Now, though, there is Ekadashi pizza, Ekadashi pani puri, Ekadashi paneer butter masala, I don't know what not. Everything is there. Everything Ekadashi, Prabhu, and they eat it and enjoy. Okay, so this is our Ekadashi today. So where is tapasya? No tapasya at all. So people in Kali Yuga, this body have shrunken. Our Kali Yuga bodies are not fit for tapasya. In Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, bodies were very powerful. They would go to forest and do tapasya. We cannot do tapasya at our homes also. Very difficult. One little fasting on Ekadashi, that also is not happening with us. Very difficult, right? We are constantly, so no tapasya, no truthfulness. We can ourselves observe in a week, last 1 week, how many lies have I told? Am I truthful? Sometimes not telling truth to people where it is needed, that also is considered as lies. So sometimes in Kali Yuga, there is no truth. The truthfulness is gone. Okay? And constantly people are yapping. Yapping means chatting, gramya katha, gossip. You open the news, you look at the TV serials, you look at many other things. Constantly, what gramya katha is happening? Gossip everywhere. Open the WhatsApp, open any social media, everywhere there is gossip, and we are so much enjoying that. We are enjoying this gossip, and we are thinking this is all happiness. Just look at this. So constantly gossip is happening, which we should avoid. And people in Kali Yuga will give wrong witness. Witness is Shakshi. Shakshi means telling truth as it is. But in Kali Yuga, you can purchase witnesses. This is all spoken by Narada Muni. Don't we see all this happening today? People are not truthful. People are having no tapasya. They are constantly gossiping. They are constantly, witnesses are being purchased. These are all things that we see. People are lazy, Sumanda. Very, very lazy. Physically, people these days now with work from home culture, people are becoming even more lazy. No physical activity at all. So people are lazy, they are dull mentally. There is no thinking from their own because AI has come with artificial intelligence. People somehow their thinking ability is also reducing because everything that you are supposed to think, the artificial intelligence, the chat GPT is doing for you, right? So our thinking capacity is also reduced with all this, and there is no clarity because there is so much of content everywhere. Narada Muni is saying there is no clarity. And people are confused which direction to go. Should I go to this satsang or that satsang? Should I come to here Bhagavatam here or somewhere else? So constantly we are distracted because there is no clarity in life. There is no purpose in our life. And when there is no purpose in life, it is such a boring life. Just imagine, the uh, football match without the goalpost. Players are kicking the ball from here to there, just passing the ball, and there is no goalpost. Without the goalpost, the whole football match becomes so boring for the audience as well as for the players. Only when there is goalpost in the football match, that match becomes exciting. So your life can be very exciting when there is a purpose, but there is no purpose because people have no clarity about life. So Narada Muni is seeing all these things. So there is no clarity. And people are very unlucky, mandabhagya, upadrataha, very unfortunate also. There is no good fortune coming in because they're constantly doing adharma. There is no fortune also coming into their life because of adharma, adharmic practices. All these things we are seeing, lazy people everywhere. And Narada Muni says, aesthetics, sannyasis, they are getting married. This is a great shock for people in Dwapar Yuga when they look at all these. Oh my God, sannyasis are now getting married. So it's very difficult. How can somebody who is renowned wearing saffron dress, but he is now getting married? It is also mentioned by Narada Muni saying women will become the head of the families. They will take over, they will control the families. This is the symptom of Kali Yuga. We see all this happening in the society constantly. In Kali Yuga, it is said that all the fancy and show off people will become kings. These days, you see, so many people, unqualified people, tamasic people, are becoming leaders. And so many leaders have created chaos. Right? You look at today's situation, today's political situation, you see. Today, people who just want to show off, they are all becoming leaders and guiding people. What will happen? So when Satamasic people lead, people will have problems, right? In Kali Yuga, young people will lead the older people. They will guide the older people. This is happening today. Younger people are giving guidance to older people. In the olden days, it was not like that. Bhishma Pitama was giving guidance to, even on the bed of arrows, Bhishma was giving knowledge, guidance to Yudhishthira. But today, small children, they think that they know so much and they start guiding older people. This is the effect of Kali. This is what we see today. Women will be sold in Kali Yuga. We see ISIS, right? In Syria, what was happening? We have seen this practically. Women were sold there, they were traded. So this is the symptom of Kali Yuga. Husband and wife, they will constantly quarrel. What is the divorce rate today? In India, which was not so much in last 30, 40 years, but today we see so many divorce rates. Constant disturbance in the families. Husband and wife constantly fight. So this is the symptom of Kali Yuga. And this is not a good trend, by the way. So many divorce rates everywhere. It is not a good trend. All constantly fighting. The deities in the temple and the temple itself will be destroyed. When we went to Vrindavan last time in our trip, we saw, right, so many temples being destroyed by all these Mughal rulers. So many. This is the effect of Kali. The deities will not be spared. The temples will not be spared. They'll be destroyed. So this is the symptom of Kali Yuga. There will be no yogis. There will be no siddhas. There will be no proper Brahmins who will chant the Vedic mantras. All these are the symptoms of Kali Yuga. People will start settling in holy places. See, settling in holy places is only for those who are advanced. But today, these days, anyone is going. Everywhere, people are going to Ayodhya, Kashi, Vrindavan. They are taking homes and making residence there in Dham. Staying in Dham is not for us. Dham is a pure place. But when we are not qualified, when you go and stay in Dham, it is a big problem. But in Kali Yuga, this is what is happening. Then women will sell their beauty to make some money. This is Kali Yuga. So much of rise in prostitution. And the most important thing, Narada says, in Kali Yuga, food will be sold. This is a shock for the people in Dwarka. Just imagine people of Dwapar Yuga, They listening about restaurants. Forget about restaurants. Swiggy and Zomato in Dwapar Yuga. People is just faint there if they listen to Swiggy and Zomato in Dwapar Yuga. Because for them, food means to give it free. There is no concept of selling food. There is no such thing as Swiggy and Zomato. It is that is the culture of our Vedic society. That is the standard. Food means it should be given free, but today it is sold. Forget about food, even water is sold these days. It is for Dwapar Yuga people, it is like a Maha Papa. Yo, this is what is happening in Kali Yuga. They will be better not to go in Kali Yuga. That is what they say. They'll pray. Where food is sold, what kind of a place that, what kind of a time it is. For them, it is a big shock of their life. Vedas, the knowledge of the Vedas will be sold. Bhagavad Gita courses. It is there. These days, people in the name of spirituality, in the name of yoga, in the name of everything, they are making money. But what to do? This is Kali Yuga. This is all predictions of Narada Muni. Don't we see all these things in the society? We are seeing all these things. See, this is the situation of Kali Yuga. The situation is very, very bad. Very bad. So now looking at all the situation, he's explaining to Bhakti Devi that I now understand why you are like this and your sons have become like this. The Kali has affected all of us in this Kali Yuga. He has taken charge. He is having the grip over all of us. So when with all this background of Bhakti Devi, now Bhakti Devi is morose and she is asking, my Lord, can you please help me? Uh, then that's when Narada actually explains that, Kali is powerful, but you are Bhakti. He reminds Bhakti Devi about her origin. You are created by the Lord. You are not an ordinary person. Anybody who has Bhakti in their heart, they will flourish. They will get everything. They will get rid of all their sins. Even the most sinful person can eradicate his sins if there is bhakti in the heart. And, oh my lady, Bhakti Devi, you have come to Vrindavan because the people of Vrindavan have bhakti. And because they carry bhakti in their heart, you have come here and you have become very young. But unfortunately, jnana and vairagya, that still is not there. Bhakti is there. So now listening to all this glorification, now just imagine somebody is glorifying Bhakti Devi so much. So she became very powerful. She felt that encouragement. She was very happy. And now with that, she is listening to all the praise because Bhakti Devi, oh, I'm so great. She was not aware of her own glory actually. Yeah. Bhakti is going to spread across the world, and because of Prabhupada, it has actually gone across. She's not restricted to only Karnataka, Gujarat, Dravida Desha, no more. Bhakti is gone everywhere across the world because of Prabhupada now. So Bhakti Devi is been established, and Narada Muni is saying anybody who has little bhakti, they will get rid of all the problems in their life. So Bhakti Devi is saying now, I understand, I am very powerful, no problem. But what about my children, Jnana and Vairagya? So that is when Narada Muni, oh yes, I need to do something. So Narada Muni, wake up, oh Jnana, oh wake up, oh Vairagya. You have to wake up. And then he started chanting the Brahma Sutras, the Veda mantras, the Upanishad mantras. He started chanting the Vishnu Sahasranam. He started chanting Bhagavad Gita in the years of Jnana and Vairagya. And when he chanted into the years of Jnana Vairagya, all these Vedic mantras, Jnana and Vairagya, they regained their consciousness. They regained their consciousness. They were still very weak. And after regaining their consciousness, they fell unconscious again. Oh my God, now Narada Muni is the problem. After listening to the Vedic mantras, Bhagavad Gita, Vishnu Sahasranama, Mahabharata, still nothing happened. They were weak, they fell unconscious again. So now what to do? That is when there was Akashvani. There was a Akashvani which says, oh Narada Muni, You can help Jnana and Vairagya only when you actually do tapas yourself, and also the solution for them, you will get it from the saints. When you get the right person, the saint, you will get the solution. So when he heard this Akashawani, he prayed to Bhakti Devi and said, you remain here in Vrindavan. You will be safe here, taken care of all these different ladies. Who were these different ladies? All the rivers. Ganga, Yamuna, Kaveri, Godavari, Saraswati, Sarayu, Narmada, all these different rivers were there along with Bhakti Devi, protecting her. In Vrindavan, he requests them to be there, and then he goes from place to place, from ashram to ashram, from hermitage to hermitage. Narada Muni is traveling to meet different saints and explaining how Jnana and Vairagya are suffering. Please, can you help me? What is the solution? What is the solution? So, after inquiring from so many places, he's still not getting the answer. And finally, he goes to Badrikashrama. So, he goes to Badri and he starts doing tapasya. So Narada Muni is now doing tapasya in Badri. And when he is doing tapasya in Badrinath, and that is when the four Kumaras, Sanak, Sanandana, Sanat Kumara, Sanatana, Sanatan, Sanatana, all these four Kumaras, they come to Badrikashrama. They come to Badrikashrama, and that is when Narada Muni completes his tapasya. And there he goes down to his brothers. They are also Manasaputra of Brahma. Narada Muni is also Manasaputra of Brahma. So he is very respectful and he prays to the king or the emperor, or you can say the most prominent of all these four Kumara is the Sanat Kumara. So he bows down to all of them and requests them that please guide me. How do I actually develop Jnana and Vairagya? They are all in a very dilapidated and very troublesome situation. How can I help Jnana and Vairagya? So this was the question of Narada Muni. So Sanat Kumara, they were very, very happy by listening to this. And then, on the advice, those Sanat Kumara, when they listen to this situation of Jnana Vairagya, they say, oh Narada, you are not an ordinary personality. Actually, you have already done tapasya as per the instruction of that Akashavani. Now listen to me. If you really want to help Jnana and Vairagya, you should organize Srimad Bhagavatam Katha for 7 days. Just see the Sapta again. So Narada Muni should become the organizer. And who will speak? Sanat Kumara himself. All these Kumaras will speak on Srimad Bhagavatam and he has to organize. So Narada was so excited. Oh, is Srimad Bhagavatam actually going to help Jnana and Vairagya? Yes. Jnana and Vairagya will automatically be developed and they will get all the help needed if we organize this Srimad Bhagavatam Katha. Now Narada is so excited. Please tell me, how do I do this? Where should I do this? All these different questions were coming. And that is when the rishis also who had assembled there, they explain, they say to Narada Muni, you please do it in the place called Ananda in Haridwara. So that's a great suggestion. So they identify a place for this Bhagavata Sapta, and that is Haridwar. There's a place called Ananda there. And this news, there was no WhatsApp and other social media that time. I don't know how this news spread, but of course, rishis were very powerful. At that time, they could actually do telepathy and probably they started interacting, and this message was sent in the universe that yes, there is Bhagavata Sapta happening in Haridwara. And that is how, through the word of mouth and all the technologies that they had, everyone started gathering in Haridwar. All the great rishis from across the world, including the Devatas, everyone started assembling in Haridwar, the place called Ananda. And this is the second time now, after Shukadev Goswami had done Bhagavata Sapta, this is the second time Bhagavata Sapta was organized by Narada Muni himself. So everyone was gathering and everybody gathered. Bhrugumuni, Parashurama, Devala, Asita, everyone. Narada himself, everyone. And that is when these four Kumaras were given the prominent place. And these four Kumaras started describing the Srimad Bhagavatam. the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. And while this discussion was happening, um, Sanat Kumara and the Kumaras, they explain that Srimad Bhagavatam is non-different from Krishna. Krishna and Bhagavatam, there is no difference. There is no difference. Narada Muni was asking, okay, we are talking about this in Haridwara, but what about Bhakti Devi? She is there in Vrindavan. And the great rishis explain, they say it to Narada, don't worry. Bhakti Devi she'll get on board on the banks of Yamuna and she will actually come here to the banks of Ganga. And actually, by the completion of Srimad Bhagavatam, you know, Bhakti Devi, along with Jnana and Vairagya, you know, they come into this place called Ananda, and then everybody is looking at these people. Oh my God, who are these people? Effulgent, so effulgent. Now, Bhakti Devi is there, and Jnana and Vairagya. They have regained their power, their strength by listening to the Srimad Bhagavatam that was happening in Haridwara. Extremely powerful. So, I just wanted to explain this importance of Srimad Bhagavatam. If we can get bhakti or have bhakti in our heart, jnana and vairagya will come. There is no separate need for us to, oh, I'll follow jnana karma, I'll follow this karma, that karma, not required. If you have little bhakti for Krishna, jnana and vairagya will come. It will automatically manifest in our heart. But the beginning is that little bhakti. And little bhakti you're showing yourself now by attending this Saturday early morning session, listening Bhagavatam. Why? Because you have that little bhakti. If you have faith, if you have that little devotion, jnana, the knowledge, the spiritual knowledge which is required for your progress will be given to you. That's why it is called descending process. If ours is not ascending process. I will read Bhagavad Gita, I will read Vedas, I will read Bhagavatam, and I will become very intelligent and very knowledgeable. No. Bhagavatam cannot be understood. Spiritual knowledge is not acquired like this. It is acquired by humility and devotion. When we have humility, when we have devotion, that knowledge will descend onto us. It will be given to you. Spiritual knowledge is given to us. We cannot acquire knowledge. It is given to us by Guru and Krishna. Okay? And jnana will come. And when you have jnana, vairagya will also come. Detachment will come from all the material things. We are looking for happiness in wrong direction in the material things. But when you get jnana, you will automatically develop vairagya towards all the material things because you know very clearly with jnana that material things will not give you happiness. Your happiness comes from getting attached to Krishna. Right? So, with this, now please understand this is not the end of it. Padma Purana goes on to explain another very beautiful pastime that we will understand, of course, in the next session. But if you have any questions, doubts, please feel free to ask. Any questions, any doubts you want to share or ask. Anything you want to discuss, if not a question, also, if there is anything that you want to share. This is just the introduction, by the way. Okay? In Bhagavad Mahatmya, we are just discussing the glories of Bhagavatam. The glories of the Bhagavatam is Kali Purusha cannot enter. Actually, when we listen to Bhagavatam, Bhagavatam is like a lion. When a lion roars, all the jackals, they will just run away. So when this Bhagavatam will roar in your heart, all these jackals, the lust, greed, anger, envy, pride, all these jackals from the heart will run away. That's why we need to have the lion. The lion is Srimad Bhagavatam. So any questions, anything that you want to ask, anything that you want to share, anything that is there in your heart to ask, anything that we discussed today, if you have any question, all the devotees who have joined on YouTube, you can also Rupa Mataji, Lakshmi Mataji, Deshna, Rajeshwari Mataji, Krishnananda, Vandana Mataji. Is there anything that you want to share or ask? Please feel free to ask from the discussion that we had today.
Prabhuji,
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna.
yeah, Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, I wanted to know, you mentioned that This particular Bhagavad Sapta was in Ananda in Haridwar. Then there
Yes.
was one in Naimisharanya where it was Shaunak Rishi.
Shaunak Rishi was explaining.
Yeah. So
Yes.
where was the original one? What is that place, Prabhuji?
It's
Where
called Shukasthala. It is called Shukasthala. So earlier it was called as Shukrasthala also. This
Acha.
Sukasthala, yeah, it is called Sukasthala. It comes closer to Haridwar and that place, Badri place only. There is a place called Sukasthala. I'll share that. It's a very beautiful place. There are many devotees who go from here, travel to Sukasthala, and they go to this place where Shukadev Goswami narrated uh,
Correct.
this whole Bhagavatam. And this is a place where the Ganga flows without making any noise. So that's why this is another reason why Parishit chose this place, Shukasthala, because Ganga doesn't make any noise there. It's very
Okay.
smooth flows. So
So there is parallel stories going on that you're telling, right? These are all parallel stories. Kathas are
yeah,
parallelly going on, right? Because I'm
actually
just
going.
trying to understand it in my mind. That's why.
Yes, because see the first Bhagavad Katha that happened, it happened between Shukadev Goswami and Parishit Maharaj. Right? That was when Parikshit was about to leave the planet. And Takshaka actually, after listening to the Bhagavad Gita, Takshaka, he came in a small insect form and then he bit him. Okay? And this is the first Bhagavad Sapta that happened. And later on, I, by the way, in this very audience, when Shukadev Goswami was speaking to Parishit Maharaj, in this audience, there was Sutta Goswami, who is the son of Romaharshana. So he also heard directly from Shukadev Goswami in this
Yes.
Shukasthala. And then he goes to Naimisharanya. And when he goes to Naimisharanya, he is describing this Bhagavatam to all the sages in Naimisharanya. Okay. So this is the story from how this has begun in the Bhagavatam also this is explained. But what I just said is the glory of Bhagavatam from the Padma Purana. What we describe now, this Narada Rishi meeting Bhakti Devi and Jnana and Vairagya, this is another instance that has happened from the Padma Purana, which explains about how Narada Muni met Bhakti Devi.
That
Okay, so, yes, Krishnananda.
that happened before Parikshit Maharaj and Shukdev Goswami's conversation or after?
It is after. After. This also, what Narada spoke, this also, because Bhakti Devi, very good point. Bhakti Devi is asking a question in Padma Purana to Narada Muni. Oh my Lord, Narada, please tell me, if Kali Purusha is affecting so much, he has done all these nuisance in this whole society, penetrated this whole society and creating disturbances. Why did Parishit Maharaj not finish him right there and then? So this is the
Okay,
question of Bhakti Devi.
okay, understood.
So Narada Muni explains because there is a reason. What happened actually, I wanted to
So,
explain this
Prabhu, what?
story.
One second. Before you go
Yeah.
deep. So, after Parikshit Maharaj Shukdev Goswami's conversation, this incident of Narad Muni meeting Bhakti Devi happened.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
and when Narad Muni met Bhakti Devi on her demands, I think Narad Muni goes to Brahma, and from Brahma he gets the contact of Sanat
He was
Kumar's,
doing
all the
tapasya in Badri.
Narad Muni.
He was doing tapasya in Badrikashrama, in Badri.
Ha. So after
Badrinath.
Badrikasha, the Sanat Kumar's recite Bhagavatam to Narad
Yes.
Muni and the devotees or Sutta Goswamis.
Not Sutta Goswami. It is the four
Hmm.
Kumaras. This is
Okay,
the Bhagavatam from the four Kumaras.
that happens beginning of Kali Yuga.
Beginning of Kali Yuga only. Yes. At the beginning of Kali Yuga, Narad Muni and all these people would actually assemble. Today we cannot see them. It's the beginning of Kali Yuga where that, Sandhya time, the Yuga Sandhya was happening. So that is when in the Yuga Sandhya, these all things have happened. So first is
Okay, the
Parishit
first
Maharaj.
so first
Parishit,
first Parikshit Maharaj, Shukdev Goswami, second Narad Muni and Kumaras, then third is Suta Goswami to the sages, right?
No, as per what I understand, I'll confirm this to you. But actually, when Sutta Goswami was already a part of the audience in Shukadev Goswami's narration, Sutta Goswami goes to Naimisharanya.
Okay.
Okay, so Naimisharanya. So this he directly goes, and the Bhagavata Sapta happens in Naimisharanya there. Okay, but this Narada Muni incident and the Kumaras happens a little later. It happens a little later. It happens a little later.
Mm.
Okay, so this description of Sutta Goswami in Naimisharan is already happened. But then Bhakti Devi comes into picture, and then this Narada Muni meets, and that discussion happens from the four Kumaras.
Mm. Mm.
Because this is a Padma Purana. Padma Purana explains this way.
Mm.
Purana. And another thing, when we look into the historical part of it, when we look from the historical perspective, we should always refer to the itihasas. Now, Puranas, sometimes we see there are different conclusions from Padma Purana, Skanda Purana. Everything is all understood in a proper way, but if you want to look at a certain incident historically, then we have to refer to itihasas, not the Puranas. So that we need to understand. But as per understanding, Parikshit Maharaj first spoke, then Sutta Goswami, and then this conversation of Narada
Narad
Muni.
Muni and Bhakti Devi. Mm.
This is how it is. So the question is, when Bhakti Devi asked this question to Narada Muni, that why Parikshit Maharaj did not actually kill or finish off Kali that time itself. Now, this is the quality of a great devotee like Parikshit, that he could actually take the essence from Kali Purusha also. Because he could have finished. Because he was killing dharma in a form of cow, in a form of a bull. Already he had broken the three legs, and only one leg the bull was standing, which was truthfulness. We will understand this pastime little later, but the point is why Parikshit Maharaj did not kill. The reason was Parikshit saw something good in Kali Purusha also. See, this is the nature of devotees. Even in the worst thing, they will take the essence. They are like honeybees. They'll take the nectar from everywhere. And what was the nectar from Kali Purusha? The nectar of the Kali Purusha is he understood that people in Satyuga, Treta Yuga, and Dwapar Yuga, if they had to attain moksha, they have to do so much of tapas, dhyana, and vairagya. It was not so easy. They had to do so much of hardship to gain knowledge and bhakti also. It is not so easy in Satyuga, Treta, and Dwapar Yuga to attain bhakti and moksha. And what to speak of love of Godhead, it is even more
Mm.
higher.
Mm.
But
Yes.
Parikshit Maharaj saw that in Kali Yuga, people will get bhakti very easily. They'll get jnana and vairagya very easily. And that is why he left Kali Purusha. Because we are so fortunate that way.
Fast
Because
food.
in Kali Yuga, instant bhakti, instant
Instant,
moksha we can get.
instant
Jnana
noodles. Instant
and,
soup. Instant bhakti.
yeah, that is how it is. Everything is instant. So we are so fortunate to be born in Kali Yuga that way, because Jnana, Vairagya and Bhakti is so easily available to all of us. So that is, in one way, we are thankful to Parikshit Maharaj. Because of Parikshit Maharaj today, we are able to access this Bhagavatam and also quickly get Bhakti. So in Kali Yuga, this is the benefit that we have, provided we stick on to Bhagavatam and associate with the devotees. Otherwise, we are gone. It will be very easy, because um, so many notifications are coming along with the notification of the Bhagavatam. So we'll get distracted in Kali Yuga very easily.
Mm.
Okay, so this incident also happened after Parishit spoke. Okay. So very interesting. Going forward, we will understand many more things. Any other questions? Anything that you want to discuss or share? Let me check any comments on the YouTube. Okay, Hare Krishna. Okay, nice. I really thank each one of you for joining today, and we will discuss another very beautiful pastime of Bhagavatam in the next, the glory of Bhagavatam basically in the next session, and then we will enter into Bhagavatam after the next session. There is a story of Dunduli. We will understand the story of Dunduli from the Padma Purana which glorify Srimad Bhagavatam. You must have already known this story, must have seen, but we'll try to understand it from the bhakti perspective, and that way we will understand some more important glories of Bhagavatam. Okay, thank you very much for joining. We will meet again next Saturday. Take care. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna,
Hare
everyone. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.